talk about accountability, talk about probity. Because I've already seen here that scientists here, there are other fields here. So what are we talking about public finance? And you start wondering what's public finance to me and what can I gain from it? But I'll tell you what it is that you can gain. You know, what this my presentation is just looking at is to tell you something about public finance management. I'm going to address probity, I'll address accountability, and then what's the influence it has on governance, and then what we can do with it with economic growth, and then youth development. The basic things that have to do with public finance, I tell you, is just concerned about resource mobilization, resource allocation, and then resource distribution. Like any other organization like that, even in the private sector, you know, finance is a critical part of what any organization does. So in the same way in public sector or in government, public finance management is the most critical part of what reflects good governance. What that means is that whatever it is that we get as any government, be it in local government, be it in state government, be it in federal, all we're trying to do at any point in time is to generate revenue. And that's what I mean here by resource generation. What government tries to do is to find different sources of revenue to be able to use that successfully and allocate it in the process where you use your budgetary system. You allocate it to different sectors and try to find a way where those resources are accrued to government, and then find it in a manner that you can distribute it to different sectors that now affect the life of every citizen in that country, in that state, or wherever it is, maybe local government. The Nigerian youth is the socio-economic and human capital gold mine that can catapult Lagos and Nigeria from third world to first world status, provided that sound financial understanding and adequate investment of resources are located to this critical demographic. As financial managers, our objective should not be limited to internal accounting management, which I've tried more or less to demote in this presentation, but should include a more constructive agenda aimed at strengthening opportunities for all within Lagos state borders and Nigeria at large. You know what I just want to use this platform also to try to talk to us here. You know, as undergraduates, you're just wondering, okay, I will say all this, what am I going to take away from here? I want you to look at a situation where we are just imagining that in another 30 years, play yourself up and just start to imagine. You know, the second should be playing a game of imagination. So let's look at in another 30 years. Where will you be? If I were to ask you, where will you be? Or what will you be doing? I'm sure some of us will not be able to answer. We'll just be imagining, okay, I would have married, I would have like 4 children, they would have gone to university, and then I will be retiring. So I'm trying to play myself back that 30 years ago, what was it that I was thinking in my head? All I wanted was that because of that singular encounter that I had, I said, I will be the most successful accountant. Of course, and I went ahead to do it. So I just want each one of us to just imagine, to say that, okay, let me do a 10-year, 20-year, 30-year plan. What should Nigeria look like for your own children in 30 years' time? That's the power of imagination. That's what we'll be trying to bring home together here. Now, in 30 years' time, what will be my contribution to Lagos? I don't want to talk too much about the state of education or whatever it is that we're doing. If you play back 30 years, it wasn't that same story. So, but the power of imagination takes you to say that I want to set a goal for myself. If I leave this place in 10 years, in 20 years, What will I contribute back to my own children? And when you start to imagine what such possibilities are, that's when you get that power of creativity.
And probity, as you have already said, you said that it means complete integrity and honesty. Now, I've been trying to find it difficult to find out the difference between probity and transparency. So I would like you to maybe kind of tell us the meaning of transparency and how we can manage them together, because I came to realize that the three of them work along with each other. Accountability, probity, and transparency. Thank you so much.
During your presentation, you said the fifth angle involves innovation, creativity. You also said it involves services and getting involved. Then everybody has to be hands-on. Now my question is, if everybody is being innovative and creative, who gets to work for you? Since you said in the next 5 years, there won't be any white-collar jobs and stuff like that. So who gets to work for you? If you end up establishing a business,
transparency, accountability, probity are interwoven. That's it. I don't even need to explain what transparency, who it is or whatever. What we are saying is accountability is interchangeable with transparency. Probity is about integrity. Transparency is about coming clean. You understand? It's about coming clean. Why did you build this road project as 4 billion? Transparency says that I should give you a breakdown of why that project is costing 4 billion. Accountability is also saying that the 4 billion I highlighted to be expended for this project have been judiciously used for the project. It's not left for you to have in your mind your own makeup, whether I've been transparent enough, whether I've been accountable enough. But in doing those two functions, my integrity has been protected. So if the 3 items are incongruent, then we now say that there is good governance. And there are basic principles of good governance. And that's why I tried to draw that diagram. See, why is everybody always asking good governance when this government is not good and all that? Good governance has 5 basic principles. The need to allow the public and the people to participate. When they participate, they give government legitimacy. The corruption we're talking about is not necessarily the corruption about the limited things that happen to public funds or public governance. The corruption that we are talking about and we should be addressing is the endemic culture that we have found ourselves, even in our day-to-day life, between one and another and among each other and even the larger community. The corruptible tendencies that try to shape our life, that will reduce ourselves to ordinary persons. It's what we should be addressing. And in addressing all that, my relationship to you, my being smarter than you, or my ability to walk away from the traffic body, it has nothing to do with the constitution here. It has nothing to do with the laws. It's about the mentality, the culture of corruptible tendencies. The ones that you use to encourage me to steal and come and put something in my community for you. The ones that you influence me and tell me that, look, it's your turn now, if you don't do it, you are finished. That's the culture of the mind, the corruption of the personality, the corruption of the mind that does not allow us that, hard work pays. And once the mind is corrupted, you decide to be part of the game of corruption that has nothing to do with the constitution of Nigeria. So, it's like a small hole, and then we start to dig it, and then it becomes so endemic, and then we all accept it. So no matter how much we try to say in the legal framework, let's start to tackle corruption. We've forgotten also that the judiciary arm of this same society that has been, bedeviled with that personality of corruptible tendencies are also living inside the same society. Why do you think they are isolated? So if the lawyer goes to court and defends Mr. A, that yes, the documents are not, the evidence are not strong enough to jail him. Another person employs another lawyer and says the evidence are good enough. But you know what? The discretionary power of the judge, is it embedded inside our constitution?
No.
Is it inside the law? Have you left the human factor?
No.
Have you embellished it to the larger society? So when we now talk about it, it is a major challenge that we have to spend so much on civic engagement and civic culture to be able to allow people to start to build new attitude. That hard work pays. If I decide to spend so much money and start to tell people that hard work pays, you cannot see the results now. But that's the thing I'm talking about, that 20 years, 30 years. Those young people, those children that you are yet to born, they will see that culture of change. I don't know whether you want to write me off. It's not good enough to write your age off, because if you can imbibe the hip-hop culture in less than 5 to 10 years, you can also imbibe a new culture of not being very cheap at work. You can imbibe integrity, you can imbibe self-confidence. Because hip-hop culture is nothing, it's just from the social media, end of story, and everybody buys it. So the same way, if we spend so much money on social media and say, look, let's have a change of attitude. Let's celebrate people who are doing hard work. And then we employ people here. Give me a technology, an application that sells good attitude. So if you are looking at your Google in the morning, you are seeing good attitude by the side.
Okay, my name is Michael Otesanya, a student of St. Augustine's College of Education. I've learned a lot from Mr. Ambode's lecture about transparency, accountability, and probity. And I'll be going back to the public, a church person, to teach the world on how to be accountable in whatever they do and maintain integrity in anything they lay their hands upon.
Good day. My name is Momike Lovett Ifunaya. I'm a student of Federal College of Education, Technical Akoka, and I'm a final year student. Well, I've learned to be transparent, even in my little way, even in my personal life, even at home, and in a situation where I find myself in public administration. And I believe I've been blessed, I believe I've been enlightened, and what I'm taking home today is I should learn to be perfect in every endeavor I should find myself. Like if in an occupation, in an organization, I should try to put my best, even though no matter how difficult or challenging I'll be finding the people there. I should learn to work and coordinate people wherever I find myself and to be transparent. Thank you.